Hey, and welcome to the Flagship, everybody. This is the 9th episode and the penultimate one. There's only one more episode after this, which will be our big finale next week. We're down to our second to last guest, but my God, we have a good one. I'm going to introduce her in just a second. But as always, this is the show. This is the Flagship. This is here to help people in these trying times. I always like to say this show is like a god of old, outstretching its hand to like mere mortals, kindly, patiently, almost lovingly, and saying, I am with you. That's what we are doing here tonight. And my first guest, my only guest for the show, is one of my favorite comedians. You know her, you love her, Blair Socci. Blair.
Oh, Trevor, hi. What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing well. It's just great to be on your show with you again tonight. I especially love your outfit.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I found this hat at the grocery store over July 4th. And
you did?
Yeah, and I really like it.
It's festive. I like it too.
It's my streaming. My hat. Thank you so much. We tried to get you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's getting harder and harder to get people as things open up because comedy is back.
Yeah, I think I've had Friday night shows now for a while. I'm gonna head to one after this, but what a treat that this one worked out.
Yes, what a treat for the audience. Because this will actually be a shorter Flagship than normal because I think we'll be wrapping it up at 8:30 because then you've got to go do a 9 o'clock show somewhere. So thank you for making the time to do this.
Oh, it's thrilling.
So yeah, this is the show. We just kind of hang out and then I kind of interview. So if anyone who hasn't watched the Trevor Moore Show on Comedy Central, Blair is my co-host.
If anyone is crazy enough to not have seen it.
It's a fantastic show where we interview weirdos and Blair makes fun of them. And then I try to keep them on the show. That's basically the dynamic, isn't it?
Yeah. If I can be honest, I would agree with that statement. The crazy thing is how nice I am in real life, and then I get on that show with you and just my high school bully comes out. But to be honest, I do think furries are weird.
Well, yeah. Now were you, so we had never met. And then I did a 24-hour show.
Yeah.
And so I was on the air for 24 hours and you were a guest that was on in the course of the day. And your segment was with kind of like science guys. And they were just talking about, the whole thing was a singularity. So we were talking about the singularity and you could not have been less interested. And so you just basically kind of called the guys nerds for an hour. And so then and I loved that. And then when they're when Comedy Central was talking about doing the show regularly, I was like, well, we should get Blair to be a co-host. She just went in on those nerds.
Well, I found their jargon to be, slightly pedantic, where they had a little bit of lack of awareness about what network they were on. in all fairness, right? But you're genuinely interested in that, right? The science.
Yeah, I like the singularity. I like things like that. But yeah, no, I love I was just watching one episode where somebody said that you could see me shoot you a look. And I was like, oh, I want to see that. And so they time-stamped it. And it was the show, it was the one about weird relationships. And I'm like, so we have a guy who's married a pillow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just I'm trying to keep, he's nervous to be there and I'm trying to keep him on I'm like, oh, okay. So, there's lots of different things, that some stuff is weird to other people. Some stuff is, not weird, we don't know. And then you interrupt and you go so you fuck that pillow? And there's a moment where I look at you like,
Okay. But I just wanted to be clear, you know,
Yeah.
the man was coming out on television saying I fucked this pillow girlfriend, and so I just want to be crystal clear that that was the stance he was taking. And you know, it was shocking even after he answered yes.
Blair, it was an excellent question. Nobody is attacking your interview skills. I'm just
That was so crazy. That man came on the show. There was some really wild shit on there that I don't know how you pulled it off. It's pretty incredible, really.
Yeah, we got some really good. You know who I really wanted to get, which they were like, no, is I wanted to get what's his name now? I've forgotten. John Hinckley.
Who's that?
He's the guy who shot President Reagan.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they just let him out of prison this year.
You're crazy. What would we do if he came on? So you fucking shot President Reagan, dude?
Yeah. What was it like to shoot Reagan?
Oh my God.
But then people were like, no, don't do that. The other thing, I don't know if I have told you this. I might have told you this. The other thing they wouldn't let us do is I wanted to do, you know how like those talk shows have like cooking segments?
Yeah.
Where they'll have a guy come out and they'll show you how they do it right there, and there's like fun banter.
Yeah.
We're going to do an episode where the point of it was telling people to spay and neuter their dogs, but I was going to have a vet neuter a dog right there on television.
Oh my God. I would have passed out. Wow. I can't believe that the line was that compared to some of the shit that got on the show.
Yeah.
Unreal. Yeah. You know, it was interesting trying to rein in my actual feelings sometimes.
To make them less like hateful?
Not hateful, but I mean, like, you know, that furry guy, I was like, yeah, you're weird. You're weird. And so then I had to try and be cordial. And, you know.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about it is that we tape all day.
Yeah.
And then there's lunch.
Uh-huh.
And then a lot of times you're having lunch with, I think, like I had lunch with the furry guy. You did too. Yeah, we were both.
And
you and I had lunch with him.
Yeah, and you know, you have a lot more cool than I do. I was just like this. I was like,
well, he was a nice man.
yeah. I mean, yeah, totally. I thought he was totally normal guy, big time.
Yeah. I'm trying to be all nice, and in the middle of eating, you're like, so you fuck animals?
Look, I'm all for people doing whatever they want to be happy, you know, and they should continue despite anyone making fun of their ass. But adults in like going to like serious conventions in these costumes to fuck is objectively hilarious.
It is.
Like, it's outrageous.
And they have to understand why it's funny. You know,
yeah,
like,
that's the stance I take.
Like, I will fight and I will die for your right to be able to fuck another man dressed like an animal. But I will laugh my ass off about it the entire time as well.
Yeah, I love having a laugh. It's good natured.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do respect, I think you're probably the last bastion of free speech, as everyone's always trying to determine in the comedy community. You know, you're the one having these furries on, these death doulas, these crazy bitches. It's wild.
Yeah. Now, we did a death. Now, you do believe in ghosts or didn't? I can forget. Skeptical.
I feel like I'm not. The way I feel about ghosts is I would never be like, yeah, ghosts, they're in my house or something. But I would say I could easily, very quickly be proven, go to that side should I encounter one. I feel like there's got to be spirits and shit, you know.
Yeah. When we did the seance, because we did a seance for a whole episode, Did you end up believing more or less after that?
More? That was just really crazy because it already felt like we were in this like very bizarre container because no one was in the studio because of COVID.
That's right.
And it felt very intimate. And then I don't know if you remember this. I was actually going to tell you this. This is really crazy. So, you know how she told me that I have like a family member, female ghost presence? That
was
like,
on your shoulder, basically.
Oh my God, I can't believe we remember that.
Yeah.
And she said, does your ear ever itch? And I swear to your right ear. And I'm sure it's just psychosomatic that she's told me that, but I'm always fucking going like this now. And then I'm like, is there a ghost? I don't know. It's crazy.
Now wait.
Oh wait.
Did your ear itch before she said that?
I actually can't remember now because I don't know when we shot that, and now I'm like, I don't know. Now I'm the crazy bitch. You know, Patty got to me.
That's maybe. I mean, I'm skeptical. I don't believe in them, but I don't know. I'm wrong about most things.
But I love that you're like, yeah, singularity in like 5 years, but a ghost? No, that's way too crazy.
I know. I also believe in aliens, and I believe like all celebrities are reptile people. So like, you know,
you do really?
Not really but I don't know. The royal family probably is.
Well, wait. Did you see that clip that they successfully had a car fly for like 27 minutes or something?
A car?
Yeah, a car. Also, the government is now being like, yeah, aliens are real.
Yeah, that makes me not believe it, though. When the government says, like, yeah, we have aliens, I'm like, no, you don't. You know, like, I don't know.
What? Why would they say that?
I just always think that whatever the government says is a lie.
But I mean, I can understand where that sentiment is coming from, but you just 100% of the time, whatever they say is the opposite.
Yeah,
What would be the motive of them coming out about aliens when there's already widespread panic of just like being alive?
Like when I go to Washington, I see a World War II memorial. I'm like, I bet there was no World War II.
Yeah.
There was no World War II. You mentioned earlier, like your high school bullying coming out. So let's go into your life.
Okay.
I want to find out if you were a bully. I was. This is a safe place for bullies. I'm pro bully. But see, when I'm older than you. When I grew up, you could be a bully and nobody got shot.
Right.
Like the game got dangerous after I left. Like that's when now bullies are marked men and women.
Yeah, this will shock you, but I would defend people from a bully because I was like, I think you know this, but I come from like, you know, a very male macho family. I'm the youngest in my family, only girl. My dad loves to like tell everyone that I grew up in hand-to-hand combat. And so I was like, literally, you know, and I had to be tough to just survive 1 minute in my household. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I wouldn't bully kids, but if I saw a fucking bully, I would just like elbow check them. I don't give a fuck, you know? I would protect the people who couldn't protect themselves.
Oh, but, you're like Batman.
Yeah, I am like the blonde Batman, except for now I transition into adult to a furry bully on your show.
I was never like a violent bully. But what me and my friends did is we set up a table that you had to walk past to get to the cafeteria. So we would get out. It was the only thing we were ever on time for. As soon as the bell would ring, we would run and we would set up at this table. So everyone had to walk past us. And then we just roast every single person that walked by. And that was what we did every day. It was fun.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that shows a lot of ingenuity.
I don't know. I don't know.
ingenuity as a high schooler. My brother was like really into wild pranks too. Like he orchestrated these large scale pranks. I could see you doing that, I feel like, in high school because you have a lot of great planning and ideas.
Yeah, yeah. It was. So wait, hold on. You grew up in Orange County, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Is that fantastic?
Um, a lot of things about it were fantastic. It's a gorgeous scenery, the beach. I was a little surf rat, and
Nice. You still surf?
not really, only like twice a year when it's 90 degrees after 3 beers,
Okay.
But
You-
no, I don't.
I love surfing.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, yeah.
When
Um,
do you go
but
a lot?
yeah, I go. Oh, actually, I honestly like I haven't really gone much since I had my kid.
Yeah.
So like I haven't really for the last 3 years, but before that I loved going. I've got this board in my garage that I've been like shaping and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's like just been sitting there for like 4 years because I basically stopped as soon as I had a
I
kid.
was just gonna say, how do you have time for that? You're like the busiest person I've ever met.
No, well, it's just sitting in my garage. My wife's like, "Can you get rid of it?"
Well, the thing is, like, unless you're a short boarder, if you're like a casual longboarder, it's such a fucking schlep. Like, I don't even know how I would do that now. I have a Prius. I told my dad to get rid of my longboard at my parents' house. So now I'll just like go out on a Doyle or something, my twice annual.
Can you shortboard? I'm too tall. It doesn't work for me. I can't shortboard. I have to do longboard.
I quit. Surfed competitively for a few years when I was in junior high.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I quit. And so I retired at like 14. And so I never got into like serious surfing at all. So I never shortboarded or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love surfing. I'm terrible at it. I'm very bad.
Yeah.
But I like it anyway. And I actually I put up a video of me and Sam because Sam and I surf. Which, by the way, Sam Brown may check in with us at some point tonight.
Oh, that would be great. Would love to see Sam.
Yeah, I was like, we got to get the Trevor, Sam, Blair energy going. He's visiting his parents on Cape Cod.
Oh, wow. That sounds divine.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, come on, let Blair make fun of you for a while. Like, that kind of thing. So he may like check in.
Don't you think with like meanness though? Here's how I feel about mean jokes. Like, if I know that you love me or you're not like actually someone who doesn't like me, you can pretty much say any joke and I'll love it. Like if you make fun of me,
Yeah. Well, I've talked about it on here before, but I don't really think I've ever been offended by anything. And then there's a debate in here whether or not that means I'm a sociopath. But I don't really. I mean, I can understand. I summarize that the emotion is like an angry, sad. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't understand getting offended at words that much.
For me, it's all intention. Like me and my friends, we just like roast each other to death, but it's not coming from a place of like, I actually think you suck and you're a piece of shit. It's coming from a place of love,
That's true. But you know what the best is when you kind of have that personality where people expect that of you.
Yeah.
And then you're like at a bar and it's usually someone who's not in your friend group, but it's a friend of your friend. So it's someone that you haven't vouched for and they suck. And you do hate them. And then you can still make fun of them in that mean way and say exactly what you think, but people take it as that's what he does. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That feels the best.
I agree. I do like that. It's like you're jumping them into the group. You're being friendly.
Yeah. So you you're professional. Oh, so what I was going to say is, so I'm horrible at surfing. Then Sam and I made a video and put it up of us like just basically like after the wave had like broke, just like riding the foam in, like, the shittiest surfing you could do.
Yeah.
And then we said that we wanted to go pro, and there's a team in Hawaii who added us onto their roster, and they sent us gear and everything. So technically we became pro surfers. Even though
I love that for you guys. And that truly is the gift of your celebrity. You just get to be a professional surfer at, an unexpected time in your life.
Yeah, it's basically my celebrity is at the level that a surf team sent me a t-shirt.
Yes! Shaka, dude. I could like barely get up now. I mean, and I'm just such a pussy. It's like, when you have to drag that big ass board like out of your car down the beach, and then you have to paddle through the waves, I'm just like, oh fuck, this is way too much work. Like when I was young, I loved this shit. Now I'm too fucking old,
Yeah. It's a lot more exercise than you think.
Oh my God. It's also just like survival.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Are you afraid of sharks?
Not really. I'll say this. I don't want to be fucking near one, but I think I spend my life in the water so much that I don't think about it. But it is crazy because like my family's really into like diving and surfing and fishing and all that. So they subscribe to like all those like Dana Point Dispatch and all those like those hardcore like tiny sea news publications. And it'll always be like they forward me these emails. They're like, great whites spotted right where you were exactly yesterday within 2 feet. And I'm just like, Jesus fuck.
It looked like it was looking for you.
Yeah. And my thing is like, I just don't want to pay attention to that shit because if it's in my awareness, then it's hell,
Yeah. There's not a moment I'm in the water where I don't think about it.
Really? I mean, that'd be a sick way to go out though.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to get eaten. However I go out, I don't want to be eaten by something. Like, but I always say I like surfing this much, and I'm afraid of sharks this much. So it's like, I go out, but I'm terrified the entire time.
I love that you. I love that you have so judiciously quantified that to weigh your decision.
Well, the other thing is where I go surfing is right by a fucking seal rookery. Or is it called a rookery?
I've never heard that word in my life, but I love it.
Is that a made up word?
It goes with your hat very well.
I know. As I said it, I cringed because I was like, it just came out sounding like a slur.
No, it didn't. It sounded
like a fucking rookery.
Like you were like panning for gold or something.
I don't know. It sounded like to me like insert any like group of people that like it just sounds bad, like
someone in the chat just said, Blair, can you please fuck my wife? What is wrong with you people? My word.
Oh, this is Trevor Country, the chat, and they're actually they're on good behavior tonight. I think everybody is a big fan of you because they are brutal to some people.
Wow, I'm very, very flattered. I saw a few talking about my voice, and you know what I have to say to that? Fuck you. This is what it is, babe.
Well, I think you have a fantastic voice, and I think also I'm gonna bring this up later when we was talking about stand up.
Oh, okay.
So I'll hold it. I'll talk about it then.
Okay.
Because I have a question. Well, I'll just go into it right now.
Okay.
After the first time that we met and you did the 24-hour show, I was on the road doing a show, and I was back at the hotel, and I was like, I'll watch Blair's special. I was also very high, and I laughed my ass off.
Oh, that's so nice.
So fucking funny. And the thing that really like stuck me about it is that you have such a good cadence down, where there's a cadence that I think all like the best comedians have that, where like it's like Todd Barry is like, I did this and this.
That's a good Todd impression.
And this. Like, you know, like, and Aziz basically does the same thing. He stole it from Todd Berry. But like everyone, but yours is, I really like yours. One of my favorite ones was the, and I forget the words of it. So this is all just the thing I remember, but it was something about meat. If you order your meat some way, and then you go, I do not want to fuck with you, like that. I love it. So my question is, because I just have dabbled in stand-up. I've never done it seriously. I've always been sketch. Do you put any thought into crafting? Because there's a melodic thing with a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
Like where it's almost like it's like a song where like there's certain points, and when you get up to the punchline, it's almost like a chorus kind of thing. And I think you do that fantastically. And so my question is that a conscious thing, or is that just natural?
It's just a natural thing, because for me, I started in New York, and so I'm still very attached to like setup punch. And I was a writer before I started comedy, before my brain ever told me about comedy. And so I'm still very attached to the way things sound linguistically and specific word choices. But yeah, I like, I don't know what comes out. It's very weird. Like sometimes people ask me like, is that character you do on stage real? And I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing a character. Like I'm just nuts, you know?
Which I guess is the answer. Yes.
Yeah. It's funny, that joke that you're talking about. If you eat your steak well done, like you definitely wouldn't fuck a chick on her period.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
my dad, my parents have never seen me do comedy to this day. And I was at, I think it was like Christmas dinner this past year, and like my dad just in passing said, oh yeah, Blair doesn't like when people eat their meat well done, or something like that, and my face turned bright red. Like I was like, that was the first time I've ever had any awareness that he had like seen a joke of mine, and of course it had to be that one, like my one dirty joke, you know.
Wow.
I'm not like that dirty of a comic, so it was just embarrassing. Yeah.
Now, are your parents conservative? Like, what's your upbringing? What did your parents do for a living? In Orange County, California. Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay, yeah. My dad's a businessman in real estate, commercial real estate, and my mom stayed home with us. Pretty standard Orange County situation. And you know, their dream for me was to get married at 25 and have 3 kids and live 4 houses down from them. And so really things went hard off the rails. Big time, and I don't think it's quite been, you know, accepted. Now it sort of is, yeah. But yeah.
Now, did your brothers follow the plan? Did they get married and live close by?
Oh yeah, they followed it all to a T.
So you're the one outlier.
Yeah. And it's sort of like I'm very close with my family. I adore them. And I think they adore me, but we just sort of like don't interact about my life, like this part of my life.
Are they religious?
No, not religious at all.
See, my parents were like Christian musicians, you know, so they were very, very strict, and they didn't like when I did a movie, like wrote and directed it, and they wouldn't go see it. You know, like, so it was very like,
so have they never seen any of your stuff either?
Have, but they've seen little of it because they know that they're like, we don't like this. Like, so they'll ask me before I do a project, they're like, is this something we can watch? And I'm like, you're not going to like it, or you will. Like, so my Disney stuff, I'm like, yeah, watch that. You'll like that. But like they've never seen the show that we do, you know?
Yeah. Well, I just love, that's so interesting because I kind of haven't really met anyone else. Like when people find out that my parents have never seen me do comedy, they are stunned.
Right.
But now also, like, they're like, doesn't that bother you? And I was like, I think it used to when I was young, but now it doesn't at all, because, you know, those jokes aren't targeted. My parents are not the demographic of who is supposed to hear that joke.
Right.
But like, I guess part of me, like some deep down part is like, couldn't you just put aside your like judgment or whatever for like one night to be like, we just want to see you in action before death, you know?
Right. Yeah. I agree. Like, it's not something that bothers me, but it is something that if my kid was doing something,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of like a helicopter dad, I think. I would be, you know, I would find out like what he was doing, what he was talking about.
Yeah. But also this generation is totally different. Like you and my brothers, like the dads are so much, and the parents in general are just way more less judgmental and more in touch. Like it's less about like you have to follow this rigid stuff. I think this generation's more open-minded.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's also like like we don't like I don't like yell at my kid.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of try to talk to him. Like so he was getting in trouble at school because he was going around and stealing kids' masks off their faces and running with them and not letting them have their masks back. And
I love him already.
and he thought it was funny. And so I had to sit, because he was getting sent home from school like multiple days in a row for this. And so I had to sit him down, and he's 3, so you can't really like, you know, so I like sat down with him and I'm like, look, it's objectively funny.
Yes.
It is funny, but I don't want to have to pick you up halfway through the day. So I'm just trying very logically, like, this is becoming a drag for me, dude. Like,
yeah, that's hysterical. I really love that, because I have 2 3-year-old nephews too, and like, you know, they're that age, that 2 to 3 age is like they're trying to figure out their autonomy. And it's so funny because they're pushing the boundaries, and a lot of times they do shit that they know they're not supposed to do, and it's so funny.
That's all he loves. Like it's like we're trying to figure out like at school how much he knows and how much he doesn't, and it's almost impossible because he thinks nothing's funnier than to say the wrong answer.
And what is Amy like? Like, what's her parenting compared to yours?
We're very similar. Like that.
That's so nice.
Yeah, she's
like a good or bad cop.
There's more rules. Like she'll have rules for him that I don't understand, like why. Right. Like, but I just enforce them because, you know, unified front. Mm-hmm. But like, you know, if she's not around and he's like, can I have this? I'm like, I don't see why not. Take it. Yeah. Like, eat like, you know, you probably won't go to bed, but you're going to be in your room. So if you want to stay up, you want to be in your bed awake for 3 hours, that's fine. Eat as much sugar as you want.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I love doing that because, like, one of my nephews, they don't like let him really eat that much sugar. And like when I'm like, well, you know, Auntie lets you have sugar. I'm like I'm a bad boy, you know. But my kid's at the age where he's constantly doing what you're saying, where he's just trying to nothing's funnier than doing something wrong. Yeah.
And nothing is funnier than like saying a word. So like sometimes so you just like, we were talking about the friend of a friend got arrested. And my wife and I were talking about it. And this is like when he was 2.5. So we're still sort of talking in front of him, not knowing how much he's picking up or whatever like that. And we were talking about how this person got arrested for cocaine, for selling cocaine. And he goes, cocaine, like that. And then our reaction was like, oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Because we're doing like that. And then he was like, cocaine. Like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Like that. And then he thought it was, and then it was and then it was exciting. So then it was like 2 weeks, he would yell it all the time. We'd be at a restaurant and he would be there. He'd be like, hitting utensils and go cocaine like that, and we're like, we just look like the worst parents in the world. But it's
That's so funny. I love that story.
so now, if he says something, if he says something, like he picks up on a word and says it, we just have to pretend that it didn't never happen. Like, don't react to it at all.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, that's hilarious. I wish I would see a toddler screaming cocaine. Like, that would bring me such deep joy. Oh my God. But like, sometimes they just say random shit that is so shocking. My nephew, and he's just quiet. You don't know what they take in or don't. And he said, he was like, yeah, have a great night. Say hi to Donna. Like, to someone leaving, and it was like, who had you heard saying that? Like, what? It doesn't even make sense, but it's so fucking funny that he just sounded like a 53-year-old for 1 second,
Yeah, it sounded like it sounds like he's got a catchphrase.
Yeah. Say hi to Donna. You're cute.
There's something that's very dismissive about that. Like, it's very mean girl, kind of like, say hi to Donna.
Say hi to Donna. Yeah, we'll see you. I gotta go eat my dinner now. Yeah. You can tell he's related to me.
That's awesome. So how did you go to college? Did you go to college, or did you go straight into stand-up?
No, I didn't start stand-up till very late. I had never seen it. I didn't see a stand-up show until I was 25.
Really?
Yeah, I had never seen like any of it. I never followed it or anything, but I went to UCLA.
That's kind of awesome.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah.
I went to UCLA and I played volleyball there. That's why I went there. And then I quit. And my whole life had been volleyball since I was 10. Like, I thought I was going to be a professional volleyball player. And then I quit, and then I had so many things I wanted to do. And I got into writing, and I was like, I'm going to be a writer. And then I moved to New York to be a novelist, and I went to grad school at the new school. And I started stand-up my second semester of grad school. And so I continued doing the degree because I obviously didn't think it was going to be a career. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've had all these weird lives.
Yeah, it sounds like your pattern is getting involved with a sport, excelling at it, doing terrific, and then losing interest.
Yeah, I'm really so short for volleyball though. You know what I mean?
But if you got on the UCLA volleyball team, you had to be very, very good.
I was legit as fuck. I really was. But yeah, I got hurt and I lost my spot, and I just quit. Yeah.
Isn't that what all those dumb influencers with rich parents were faking that their kids were doing? Wasn't it that Laura Laughlin was they were photoshopping their kids onto volleyball
Oh no, it was Crew. And you know what's hilarious about that is Crew is this ridiculous, insane sport. What a ridiculous sport. But I knew several girls who took up Crew for 1 quarter in high school, their senior year, and then went to Stanford, UCLA, USC, and it wasn't a fake thing, but they literally just they were tall and skinny and that's what they needed for Crew.
So that's all you needed to do is the last semester.
Well, it was just crazy to me because I had been literally working at this thing since I was 10, and but also I was more power to you bitches. I love to see someone beat the system. You gals, yeah. Come on, get there. Get to UCLA. Get to Stanford.
So I went to college in New York as well.
Where'd you go?
I went to the School of Visual Arts.
Cool.
Over on 23rd Street. It's a fantastic city to go to college in.
Really? Did you like that?
I loved it. But I was from a fucking cow corn farm, you know, like I was just in a city I was like, this is incredible. Like, you know,
all my friends that went to school in Manhattan, they seemed so much more mature and they knew so much more than I did. Like, I just, Orange County, there's a lot of wonderful things. It's beautiful. There's great family values, blah, blah, blah. But there's like zero culture. And that brought me a lot of shame. I was like, I have to know something about the world, because they don't know about it in Orange County.
Well, it's like, then you went, you saw the world for a little bit and you're like, it was pretty good back there. It's nice. It's nice not living in a place that was a swamp. They just paved over it, but it still has the weather pattern of a swamp.
It's confusing now that I'm getting to this age. Like, my nephew's 3-year-old birthday party was last week on the beach and it was a perfect hot day, and everyone I ever knew from growing up was there with their 3 children, like happily married. And I was like, oh, I was like, this is a route I could have gone if I would have, stayed with you or you. And now I'm like, I love stand-up. I wouldn't have been happy doing anything else. Like, as soon as I found it, I was like, oh, this is the thing. But I also some of that is still in me. Like, I still am a really traditional person. Like, I do want to get married and have kids, but I don't know how to do that.
Oh, I would imagine that's hard as a touring comic, at least.
Yeah,
that would be difficult. So when was the? Because you're on the road a good amount of the year. Because you tour with Funches.
I do, yeah, and then by myself sometimes, yeah.
That's cool. How many weeks out of the year do you think you're on the road?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what it's going to be like now. I think Ron just booked a show, so a lot of dates will be canceled. Okay. And then we had COVID, but like we had a tour there that was a lot. I feel like we went to like every state.
Yeah. Do you like touring?
I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's so fun, especially with I mean, I don't want that to be. I want to make TV shows, and I'm just like hoping to God I sell one or someone. I've been trying to get staffed for like a while. It's a mystery to me because I do love touring, but like I don't want that. You don't want to be stuck with that as your shit when you're old. You want to. It's not sustainable at all.
I have the utmost respect for touring comics because I couldn't do it. Like we go, I mean, I think the most I've ever been out is 6 weeks in a row. But like, 6, like not coming back for 6 weeks. But when I do it now, I pretty much just do one-offs. Like I'll go to a town, do a weekend at a club, and then leave. And I'm also doing it with like my best friends. I always go with Sam Brown and Darren Trumater. Who are 2 guys from Whitest Kids, and we always go together, and I'll do music, and then we'll do sketches and stuff. So I'm with people who are like my best friends, and I still find it incredibly boring and lonely,
Yeah, I mean, I am sort of a loner. I'm like deeply introverted, not when I'm around people or interacting with people, but I need a lot of alone time. And so I don't necessarily feel lonely on the road, even though I do want to get married and stuff. But yeah, it's like, it's just really draining. Like, I feel like I have a very limited energy supply, and just even the flying and then the late nights, and then it's just a lot. It takes a lot out of you. Like, I was in Texas last week and I needed a few days. I was just down for the count for a few days.
Wow. Where did you play the Creek and the Cave down there?
We did, yeah. It was so fucking fun. And I started there in New York, so it was really crazy. It was like deja vu, except like this gorgeous, beautiful club, and she made it look a lot like the New York one, which is crazy.
That's I was gonna ask that, like, where was the first place that you saw or did stand up? Was it the Creek?
In New York?
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I took a class.
Like UCB?
I did take UCB just to make me feel less shy because my legs shook on stage. Everyone who was there when I started always remembers my legs shaking because I was so scared.
Blair, I want to say that there's at least 3 people in chat who have proposed to you in the last 5 minutes. So they'll marry you. And Zombie says, I'll marry Blair. I'm 23 and live in Argentina. Well, that seems like a commute.
We have a geographical issue, probably an age issue also. Well, thank you. I'm very flattered. But, oh yeah, okay. So I took a class because I obviously would not have known where to go or what to do or anything. And like the whole point of a class, they don't actually teach you how to do stand up. They basically just show you how to move the mic stand, and the benefit of it is you're doing it around no one else who has done it either, so that you feel like safe.
Right.
Yeah.
And would you recommend that? Did it help?
Oh, it totally helped. I mean, I would have started without that thing. I have like a weird way that I started stand up. I was dating this guy who was from my hometown, and he had just started open mics, but like he showed me comedy, and so I became a fan very quickly once I discovered it. It was sort of literally like I didn't even know it existed. And he took me.
That's so cool. There's something very cool about like coming from surfing and volleyball, which are like, you know, traditionally cool kid sports.
Thank you.
And then, you know, most comedians are like riddled with insecurity. Girls didn't pay attention to them. They were just kind of like, they're nerds. And then coming from these like jock things, and then just kind of being like, oh yeah, I just, you know, I didn't even know stand-up was a thing till yesterday.
It sounds insane. Like I always was like a hardcore book nerd. Like since I was a kid, like I was always reading. And then, you know, so what happened was I became a fan and I started interviewing comics. I was writing for Splitsider when I was in grad school. And then I was writing for W Magazine, and I pitched an article on Michael Che. And I was his first piece of press ever.
Oh wow.
And I asked him questions, and that we became friends, and I asked him questions that later on it was like, oh, those are psychotic questions of someone who wanted to start stand-up. But my brain hadn't told me. I literally asked him like, but like, what was it like the hour you went on stage the first time? And he was like, I don't know. I drank half a bottle of E&J. And I was like, okay, half a bottle of E&J, you know? And then like a couple days later in the shower, I had a thought and was like, oh, I should do stand up. And then I started like a few days later.
Wow. So yeah. Michael Che, it'd be amazing if your questions, like it was like they were all about you starting stand up. Like you're like, what do you think about this joke? I hate guys who order their meat like.
No, I had zero awareness still. Like I had no idea that like it had not crossed my mind one time before that moment. And when I was dating that guy, I would sometimes write him jokes. I would write jokes for him, but it still hadn't crossed my mind like that I wanted to do it. I was just like, oh, I'm shy. I'm a writer, you know?
Now when you started doing stand-up, your boyfriend was already doing stand-up.
We broke up.
Before you started doing it?
Before I started, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I still hadn't like figured it out. But I think I was like, I'm so sad. Nothing can fucking hurt me now, you know?
Because I worked at Subway sandwiches. And then my girlfriend, because she wanted to spend more time with me, she got a job at the same Subway sandwiches, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
without asking you?
She just did it. So I was like, what the fuck? So I didn't know if there was any of that, but you were already broken up at that point.
Yeah, we were already broken up. That would be crazy. And I was on the other. He was also in LA too. That's why we broke up. We were doing distance.
Yeah.
And now he's like very successful, but he does like a lot of. No, we're totally cool.
Is there any sort of thing like a fantasy of him having to open up for you or something like that though?
This is really crazy, but I did headline a show where he was opening for it the other day.
That's fantastic.
No, but he's very successful, and it's just a weird. He does like a lot of video stuff, but like it's just a very, especially we both come from this very small town where there's like no one is in the arts. It's just a bizarre thing.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So like when you tour, so you do by yourself and you go out with Funches.
Yeah.
Is it like, what do you do during the day? Because that's the thing that I like. Usually they make you do radio at like 6 a.m. or something, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do that when I go alone, but Funches, sells out everywhere, so we never have to do radio.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and that part is quite nice. Like, my experience, and I did have open for other people before that happened where
I was just kidding. I don't have to do radio either when I go to stand up.
I do. I feel like you have a big following where you wouldn't have to, but
I can never, you know what I can never sell out is the Thursdays.
Yeah, I mean that's it's very hard to do. But yeah.
But then there's just the whole fucking day. And that's what drives me crazy is like, I don't know what to do. So I end up going to, how many like presidential libraries I've been to? Like I just go to like museums and stuff, but I don't even like museums. Like I'm sitting, I don't even know how I'm looking at paintings and I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm just looking at it.
I'm just so impressed that you go do that shit. Cause we don't I am amazed at how many cities I have been to where I haven't seen shit because it's so tiring. And if you're opening for a headliner, you're sort of on they're your boss for the weekend. And so with Ron, we go eat at the major place to eat in the city. Okay. That's sort of our event. And then we work out together. And, then we both go and he naps. I can't nap because I'm a psychopath, which is like the saddest thing in the world. And I write or fuck off or meditate or do whatever. And then we go to the show. It's like very, very mellow.
Okay.
It's very nice too, because a lot of my dude friends, they open for people where it's like a single headliner and they want to go party really late after and meet chicks and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I'm always just so grateful that me and Ron are so on the same page of just we're both sleepy people that just like to chill, Yeah.
So that would be my other question is after the show, you've got all this energy, you just go and take a nap. You don't hang out and drink or with people?
Oh no. Ron is very kind to his fans. He will stay and talk to each person that comes and sees him, and we'll smoke weed after and usually eat something really good and just laugh and giggle, and then we'll go to bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's still very chill. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, he seems like a great person to tour with.
He is, and he's so nice and he's so funny, and he always plays tricks on me and stuff. He'll make us have a challenge where he'll be like, okay, we had a challenge where everyone had to say Joe Rogan during their set. Another show everyone had to sing at some point, and it just it makes it so much fun. It feels like a summer camp. And then he makes fun of me a lot when he's on stage, and it's just a fun time.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
yeah. I always like have so much energy after a show that I end up drinking all night, and then that also makes me even more bummed out the next day because I'm
Yeah.
also there with all my friends, and but slowly all of my friends I guess were alcoholics, um,
Yeah.
and so they all had to quit
Right.
drinking. So
I have
now
a
I'm
lot of those in comedy too. A lot of sober friends.
Yeah, it started out everybody was drinking,
Yeah.
and now it's just me, and Timmy from the whitest kids, but Timmy doesn't go on the road with me. So
Right.
now we go out, and then my friends will be like, "Well, we're gonna go home and go back to the hotel and go to bed," and then I still want to stay out, so then I end up staying out with people I don't know. And then as I drink, I'm a very paranoid person. I'm always afraid of being murdered.
You know, it's so funny. Like I sort of always love like being reminded of your paranoid side because you do have a lot of interest, but you also so have your life together in like the most insane way. So I love when the cracks of your paranoia show through because I'm like, yeah, you're human. He's human.
Oh, yeah, no, my life is together, but it's a very delicate house of cards. It only works in this one specific way. Like, like
Oh my God, someone just said, this is actually really funny. Someone said Blair's voice is like COVID and throat cancer had a baby and fed it to broken glass.
that's pretty good. I disagree, but I like the wordplay.
Someone told me also, I like collecting them because I do actually find them funny at this point because people just can't deal with like a woman with an obscure voice. Someone said I sound like Gilbert Gottfried fucked a Muppet.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
I like them when they're funny. I really do.
Yeah. That speaking of COVID, so we were about to shoot the second season of our show.
Oh yeah, that week.
Right when COVID got big, like it was in March,
right?
And so then everyone had to go away, and so it was interesting because you could see how people were dealing with it through Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And so like what I did is I just started fucking digging holes. I didn't know what to do. So I went up to the beach and I stayed up there for 3 months and just dug holes. And I got into drones. And it was just a very weird time. I drank a bunch.
Yeah.
And from we haven't talked about this, but from your Instagram, it seemed like you went back to live with your parents.
So I was having a niece born. I had a niece born March 15th, which was basically 3-4 days in. And I was in Hawaii and I knew I was with Ron and I had a feeling in my stomach, like I'm not supposed to get on this plane. But if I was the headliner, I wouldn't have gone, but I was opening, so I went. And we're on this old ass plane that doesn't have internet, like not even as an option, or TVs. And so we literally fly. The second we land, I turn my phone on and it's like NBA canceled. Da 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 da. And I was just like, oh fuck. And it was bad. It was like a pit in my stomach. And
what a wonder. I mean, it could have been amazing because if you're gonna be stuck somewhere, Hawaii, I would imagine they had less of a problem than the other states.
I mean, yes, in theory, if you're going to be stuck somewhere, yes, but there was still panic there. And at this point, before the restrictions of people can no longer be at birth, like forever, I had never missed like going to the hospital of one of my nieces and nephews being born. And I wanted to get home. we stay like 2 days. The last day, we like did a bunch of mushrooms, and the show didn't get canceled for a couple days. I buy a flight and tell Ron, his wife was there and another one of our friends, because it was his birthday week. I buy a flight and I said, I'm sorry, I'm out. I don't want to get stuck here. And I left. And then, this baby's born. And also, just it was so unknown. I felt like I had to protect my parents. Like, I didn't want them to go to the grocery store.
Right.
So I stayed down there for 2 months. One of my other brothers, his nephew, they didn't have childcare. So I was like, all of a sudden, like helping. They both work. And I stayed for 2 months, and then I came back up to LA, where I was like, that was too much time together.
That was what I was wondering. Was it positive, or was it or probably a mixture?
It was very positive. My parents loved it. My parents were like some of the only people in Orange County that like took it very seriously.
Right.
I mean, Orange County now has become, like Florida, Wild West, like deep Texas.
Huntington Beach.
We're very far away from Huntington Beach, about like 35, 40 minutes south of there. But like that place I can't even fathom what it has become. I do the OC Rec Room. You should do it, Trevor. It's a really great new club there. And I do it sometimes. And it's like hard for me to not, like, I always feel so compelled to like just go on stage and be like, what's up, QAnon? But like, I also am like, I shouldn't like get shot. You know what I mean?
I'm actually going down there this week because I just, the band Avenged Sevenfold?
Oh, yes, I do.
I just did a podcast by one of the guys from that band, and we hit it off, and we like kind of became friends. And then he lives down there, and he's like, "Hey, let's hang out this week." And I was like, "All right," so I'm gonna go down there and hang out with them.
You know what's hilarious? I think one time I was with Ron, and he went and did it, and then I picked him up from that guy's house.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
Yeah, Johnny Christ.
Yeah.
Cool dude. So I'm gonna go hang out with him.
I love that. Adult friendship.
Huntington Beach. Yeah.
It's such a weird place.
I'm excited. Actually, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna meet in Long Beach, because that's kind of equidistant between the two. Because Huntington's almost down near like Anaheim.
I mean, it's like probably 20 minutes south of Anaheim. I'm from the most southern city in Orange County, so I'm like way down there.
Wow. Now, how far is that from Irvine?
Like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. Because when I was 18, I got on a bus and came out here to do stand up. But I didn't have any like money. So like a friend of mine lived in Irvine, and so I crashed with him, and then would like get rides into town to do like, and wait in line for to do the Laugh Factory and stuff like that. Like, so I lived in
Laugh Factory there?
No, in LA.
Oh, wow.
So I would go and like, because back then, I don't know how they do it now, but like the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory, they had one night a week that was like open mic. And if you showed up, this is like 1998.
It's still like that.
Really? So, but you have to show up at like 5 a.m, and you have to wait like the entire day to go on at like midnight.
It's not, it's not 5 a.m. or anything like that. It's like you show up at like 4 or 5 p.m. and then they put a list of 20 people, and that's at 7:30. So it's like takes up half your day, but not like 24 hours. No. That's
so much better, because it was first come, first serve, and so people would get there at like 5 to like to do it, and then so I spent a summer in Irvine because of that, and it's nice. It's like a big mall.
Irvine is really fucking weird because it's like the most sterilized place you've ever sterile. Like it looks like a computer game the way it's like urban planned. That's not a word.
Yeah, no, it is.
But it just looks so cookie cuttery. Mono. Like everything looks the same there. I feel like
San Diego's like that.
San Diego, I think, has a lot more character than Irvine. Irvine just looks like very clinical and sterile to me.
So when you're staying with your parents in the COVID, you're worried about your parents because they're older,
Yeah.
I would imagine. Are they? But they took it seriously. My parents are I would say elderly, because they're old people, and they like barely believed in it.
Yeah.
Like I had to really force them to like take it seriously. And then still every time I called them, they'd be at a party, like throughout the whole thing. Like, and they were, and at one point they told me, and they weren't wrong, but they were like, look, it's just not that big of a thing in Virginia. Yeah, no, like they're like, I know where you are in Los Angeles, it's terrifying, but it's not that scary here. Like and
I love that they were just trying to level with you. Look, Trev, all right, it's just not really a thing in Virginia, okay,
Yeah,
pal? So
look,
just take a load off, okay?
son, I love you, but you're kind of being a fucking pussy about this.
No, my parents took it seriously, and my parents are like, it's like it's laughable how young they are for their age. Like, they're just like in insane shape and like, all this stuff. And like, I feel like a lot of times they don't take shit. They never think that they're susceptible to stuff, so I was very worried, and I was the one, I didn't want them to go to the grocery store. But yeah, it was a time, like, I forgot like what that was like to stay with my parents. My dad put out when The Last Dance, that documentary came out.
Oh yeah.
He put out a sign every Sunday saying reservation for 3, like The Last Dance, and he'd put out the bottle of wine in the morning with like for me, my mom, and him to watch the
Wow.
Last Dance. It was cute. It was funny. My dad like plays pranks on me all the time. So yeah.
That's great. Did you COVID's back now?
I know, it's really weird because I've been back to doing shows every night, and like LA is just nuts. I mean, I feel like we've barely been open. I'm so fucking mad at these anti-vax people ruining it for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like now it's just like it shit shuts down again. I swear to God.
Well, it's like I think we have to in California go back to masks on Monday or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, and I like my weekly show in LA is coming back on Tuesday, and after a year and a half, and I was like, well, I guess people are gonna wear masks. I don't know.
Now, do you have to? I mean, does the person doing stand-up have to wear a mask, or can you take it off when you're performing?
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I guess so, and then everyone else is just masked.
Yeah. God, how have the audiences been? So like have you done like the Comedy Store, like the Laugh Factory in the last 2 months?
No, I haven't done either of those.
Because I'm wondering because I know that they were trying to stay afloat by doing everything out in the parking lot.
Yeah, they did do that. I don't perform at the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
But yeah, the audiences, even at the outdoor shows, and the indoor shows, have just been rabid. Like every show I've done has just been packed because people are just so excited to get outside and like
Starved for it.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Like in Texas, it was fucking crazy. It was so fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. And now Adomian, he was down in Texas last week. Mm-hmm. And then he texted me this week saying that he was feeling like he had COVID symptoms.
Oh, so
but he's a vaccinated person. Like I keep hearing about people who got the vaccine getting COVID with this new thing.
Yeah, that I've heard whispers of that as well. That freaks me out, and I hope they have a booster for us, I guess. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I got it. I got COVID. And it wasn't that bad.
Wasn't it before we shot or what?
Yeah. No. It was after.
It was after?
I got it after because I got it in January of this year.
Oh, okay. I think I actually remember that when Amy told me that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think I've seen you since we shot things. Oh no, I saw you once. I rolled down my car window and yelled at you.
Yeah, because I do my same walk every day. I won't tell the viewers where, but yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that we lived close to each other.
Oh, I feel like I knew that. I don't know exactly where you live, but it's a pretty small little area.
Yeah.
And for my exercise, I walk like 4 to 5 miles a day. That's what I enjoy.
Wow.
And it really is something big, like during COVID when we were like stuck inside. I was like, I need this hour outside every day.
Yeah. See, I didn't do any of that. I bought all these like weights, and I bought an elliptical, and I bought a treadmill, and I bought like a fridge and a TV, and I made like a whole gym. And I was like, this is how I'll stay in shape during COVID. And I maybe used it once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like
I also love this idea of you just always like creating and like strategizing in your home. Like, I just feel like you're always doing that and preparing for shit, you know?
Well, I got afraid of the COVID virus in December of 2019.
I know. I remember you telling me all that. And like you made a few comments and I couldn't tell if you were joking or not. Like, and then you're like, no, I am deadly serious.
Yeah, I had all the masks ready. I had stockpiled, so I started hoarding food like a month before it got serious. Like I would literally walk down the aisles with the cans and just put them all into my cart. Like I would clear out like a whole aisle of like food. And I also I had bought all of this. I had purchased a ventilator, but it got.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And I get real like paranoid, but it was, and I think I talked about this on maybe even the last show, but a couple of years before this, I had become convinced that I could predict earthquakes, where there was a meteor or like it was a comet that was coming into the solar system. And every time, and I was tracking this thing and watching it, and every time the comet would line up with our planet and another planet, like there'd be a direct line between them, there would be a massive earthquake. Like there was one on like Christchurch, there was one like all over the place. And so it was coming around and it was going to line up with like Jupiter and us. And I was like, we live on a fault line. There's going to be a huge earthquake on this date. I got to get out of California. So I like told Amy, I was like, this is gonna sound crazy, but I think I can predict earthquakes, and I think everyone we know is gonna die on the Saturday. What
does Amy? I'm so interested to hear what she says when you're telling her all this stuff.
Well, Amy and I have been together since we were 23, so she's like used to all of this.
Like, so what is she like? She's like, okay, Trevor, that's really good.
She's like, what? So like a comet? Okay. And then I was like, I'm gonna get the plane tickets. We'll go to Vegas. And we'll just stay there for like a week, So she did, and then halfway through it didn't happen, of course. So, and I started rooting for it. Like I'm going to look like a fucking idiot if a huge earthquake doesn't wipe out Los Angeles. So like I started like, come on, earthquake, And
I love that you were like, I'd rather there be just a death, destruction, earthquake than me be wrong.
Yeah, well, you can understand. It's your wife. You'll never hear the end of it if you're wrong about something like this. So I was wrong, and had to live with it.
So I was wrong.
Turns out, I cannot predict earthquakes. One of the features of earthquakes is that they seem to be unpredictable. So I was. Someone says you rooted for the death of so many. I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't. So yeah. So I had to, so like 2 or 3 years, I was living with like, well, you're kind of I'd say like, I think this, and like, yeah, but you're kind of a crackpot, and so then like I started talking about the coronavirus like 4 or 5 months before it happened,
Yeah.
And stockpiling it, and it was for like the whole first 2 months of it, like especially when we're driving up to the beach, like we're leaving the house because they're shutting everything down, hospitals are filling up, like I was seriously for 2 months like, see
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and so now I'm at net zero. I'm basically like that has made up for the earthquake thing, so I'm right at a zero right now.
That's so funny though. But have you always been like that since you were 23, since you were a kid?
Yeah.
Or is this something? Yeah. Okay. I love that. Dang. I love that you like get so passionate into your, I wonder what if your child's like an astronaut or some shit?
I don't know. Right now he wants to be a truck driver. So I think what I'm going to do is retire when he's 18. I'll retire and then we'll be truck drivers together. And
that's really cute.
That's how I'll go off into the sunset.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I love that.
Yeah. Just father and son hauling stuff across this great country.
Absolutely.
doing trucker meth together. Well, Blair, it's 8:28. I know you have a 9 o'clock. So I want to. Is there anything? What can you want to give out your like social media and stuff? So if people don't follow you, they should follow you.
Oh, that's so nice. This was so fun, and I've been wanting to do it for so long. So, if you do want to follow me, my social media on Instagram and Twitter is at Blair Socci, BlairSocci, and you can look for my tour dates. I post all of it there. I have a weekly Tuesday show in LA also if you want to come, and hopefully things don't get shut down. Yeah,
so that's your show's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So hopefully everything will be fine. They won't shut it down. And thank you so much for doing it.
Oh my God, thanks for having me. It was so great to catch up with my Trevor Moore show pal.
Yeah. I'm sorry Sam didn't come in. He was thinking about it. He was scared.
I know. I can understand why. We put him through a lot.
Yeah, everybody that I meet when they talk about the show, they go like, "You guys are really mean to Sam."
Yeah, and I want to thank Sam for being the sacrificial lamb because he really takes it well, and he provides us a lot of outlets.
Yeah. He had a doctor shove his hand up his ass. Oh my God! Hold on. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Speak of the devil. I think it's Sam Brown, but this is Sam's bit.
Hey, do not adjust your internet.
Okay, well, Blair, I know you've got to run, so.
I do, Sam. Love you, buddy. Hope you're not in a coffin. God bless. Thank you, Trevor. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Let's grab a drink sometime.
Oh, yes, please. Would love to. All right. Bye.
Sounds good. Bye. Hey, Sam.
Who is that?
That was Blair. How are you doing?
I'm a Legion.
Wait, this is Nate. This isn't Sam.
No, this is Sam.
No, it's not.
This is Q.
That's Nate's
I'm
voice.
Anonymous.
Wait, so this is Nate, not Sam?
This is Q.
Tell me something only Sam would know.
I don't know, Sam. This is Q.
Yeah, but Q, you know everything. What is Sam and my secret word that we text each other every night before we go to sleep?
I love you.
No. Yeah, it is.
I knew it. We see your chat logs.
Well, that was, we got a couple more minutes left of this show. I guess we could end early. But that was fun. It was fun having Blair on the big penultimate show. Q, do you know if Sam is around or is he having fun out there on the Cape?
Hey, Sam, I'm reading his text messages. He doesn't know he is always around. I've GPS located him.
You know what? Someone says, let's do some music, Trevor. Yeah, well, this is next week is going to be a huge one. That's going to be the finale. And my God, if there's one show you should watch, it's going to be the finale of the Flagship. Very sad. The Flagship is ending, but it's again 9 in. We never missed. I doubt we'll miss next week. And I believe the Flagship will live on in some form. We'll do something. Someone says, why is it ending? It's ending because Zacky C is coming back. Zack Kreger. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe Zacky C's plane touched down today. I believe he's back in the United States of America. Estados Unidos. I think he is back. So there will be one more Flagship. I still think he has to do a couple more days of shooting here. And then there'll probably be like a week off, and then Newsboys will return. And we'll see what happens with Flagship. Flagship might become a podcast. It might become, I don't know what it's going to do. I mean, we're going to do something with it.
Have you read Donos?
No. Do you want Q? I don't know how to read Donos.
Why not?
Well,
how many episodes of the Flagship have you done?
9.
And how many Donos have you read in that time?
Probably 9. The problem is, and I'll tell you, a lot of these other shows, they're just grasping for content. And they're looking for something to do, and they read the Donos. Now, the Donos are the bread and butter. They're the heart and soul. They're the backbone of this channel, of this movie. I know they're important. The problem is that the conversation, the guests, the host are just so fucking entertaining on this show that I often forget to read them. And it's no disrespect to anybody who's donating. We appreciate it. I actually just got sent a whole bunch of art from the movie that like finished animated, like that I'm excited to show everybody. I won't be on Self Suck tomorrow. It's my wife's birthday, so I am going to a dinner with her. I'll be back next Saturday, and but we'll show some art there. But that's the only reason I don't read the Donos is because I just kind of get wrapped up in the conversation and I forget. Someone says, also the drinking. Maybe. I don't know. Someone says, play marbles. I don't like marbles. Sorry. This is Trevor Country. We don't fuck with marbles in Trevor Country. Nate. You know what we could do? We got a couple more minutes here. We'll do a shorter episode this week because Blair had to go. Is Allegra G in chat? I know she's a mod. She works for the channel now. She's a moderator. But where is Allegra G here? I'll see if she's in there because we could check in with her for the last couple of minutes here.
You mispronounced her name.
What is it? I said Allegra.
Ali Greg.
Let's see. I don't see her. I don't see her in here. Well, chat. What do you think? What should we do here? Oh, someone says she's here in chat. Oh, I'm here. Okay. I'm gonna send her a thing. Well, how do I do that? I don't know her email. I don't know how to do this show. See, I like the shows. What I like to do is just sit and talk and be a dumbass. It's hard when you have to do other things.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna see if Allegra G can come in here. Allegra G is about to go to Europe for someone goes, oh my God, Trevor, are you 70? Trevor opened Discord for once. I don't go to Discord. They don't like me. Discord doesn't like me. That's not true. I just don't go to Discord that much. Discord loves me. Who the fuck is Blair Socci? She's the host or the guest host for the Trevor Moore Show on Comedy Central.
Blair Socci got donos tonight.
He did.
For Mitchie, Richie, and JJ Marvin's Summertime.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here, what go?
Allegra.
How
are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound great. Welcome back to the show.
Hi.
Well, you've never been on this show, right?
No.
You were on Self Suck Saturday. Welcome back. Welcome to the Flagship. This is the best show on the fucking network. So congratulations.
Yeah, this is a really big honor. Thank you for having me.
So the last time we talked to you, we hooked you up with a guy.
That's great.
Did you ever meet?
No.
You ghosted?
What? No, I haven't heard anything from him. It was probably for the best, though. I'm too awkward for dating.
Oh, I know we were very worried about you being murdered.
Yeah, that was sweet. I've never had so many people be so against me getting murdered. I thought that was really nice.
Well, this is my preference. My love is for Trevor Country.
Sure.
But I like all of Whoretown, and I don't feel about Whoretown as passionately as I do Trevor Country, but I like Whoretown, and as there's some rough edges there, but I do. With the one thing I've always liked about Whoretown is they've always been consistently anti-murder.
Yeah. That's a good thing. That's a good thing about your community is that they're not cool with murder. I think that's nice.
Yeah. So this guy, he didn't call you. His loss.
Thank you.
You find out you're gonna be a doctor.
No, just a master's student.
Oh, just a math. You don't get a doctorate for that. How does it go? I only went to film school, so I'm not very intelligent. So
I disagree. I think film school takes a lot of intelligence.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I had a C average, and I got into the film school I wanted to go to.
Please get degrees, dude. You're fine.
So you got so you get I've got a BA in movies or something. And what did you graduate with? What was your major again?
So I studied English with a minor of psychology. I did that because I didn't think I was good at anything else, but I liked reading books. So I was like, I'll just go with that.
Okay.
I actually got accepted to my college as an art major, but I changed my mind once I was like, I don't want art to become an assignment rather than something I enjoy doing. So
right.
I thought
just changed my mind. You're like, I don't want to be poor for my whole life.
True. It's very competitive in the art world. So that's why I'm like, y'all got it. I just do it for fun.
So what are you going to get? So you have like a BFA or a BA. So what is your grad school? You get a master's?
A master's. Yep, a master's.
Okay.
And I'm going to England actually. And
with Darren?
Yeah, we booked the plane tickets yesterday.
Wow. What if you end up living next to Darren?
That would be cool. That would be a real honor. I actually have a list of all of the really good food and furniture places in London because I thought I was going to live there. So I do my research. So if Darren wants that list, I can get it to him. Is
the list of good food places in London like 3?
No, you can find some good places. I feel like London proper is a little bit like New York, where you'll see a lot of advertisements of we have the best Indian food, we have the best Chinese food, but a lot of times they're lying. So you got to find the underground, really cool places. But I found them.
Got it. I've never been to England. Actually, I've been to their airport.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's a good airport. Good airport. I don't care for the accents.
I spent 2 weeks there with my friend in the summer of 2019, and only after 2 weeks, I started noticing that I started to emulate their accent, and I was like, oh no! I was like, this is wrong on every level. Instead instead of saying coffee, I would say coffee. And I'm like, I don't know who I am anymore. What is going on here?
Spot of trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
My name's Allegra, it is.
I sounded like a bad impersonation of Monty Python, like the not funny version of Monty Python.
So what are you majoring in?
So I'm majoring in education. I think it'd be really cool if I go get a master's degree in education in some other better place, come back to America and be like, yo, let me fix this. I gained the knowledge and I think I can help.
So the idea is to be a teacher.
No, not a teacher.
What do you want to do with the education degree?
I think I want to work in something like academic advising or something, because I feel like I like helping people, and I've spent a lot of time at my college that I just graduated from working with students and helping them. But what I focused on was more heavy things. Like I worked in a department that dealt with like drug abuse and eating disorders and sexual assault, and I was like, that's cool, but I kind of need to lighten up a little bit, or I'm gonna just fall into a pit of doom. So
yeah.
Maybe I can help them with their transcripts while giving them their support from the side. I was like, that seems more my avenue.
Yeah, you don't want anybody like working there when the people are telling their stories. They're like, gross, bummer.
Yeah, seriously. It got to a point where I was like, after the 10th story, I was like, look, I'm trying to be as empathetic as I can, but I am so tired. I gotta go.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm excited. When do you go to England?
So I think it would be like the middle of September, somewhere around like the 18th or 19th. And then what I like about this program is it's only a year. So it's really from September until June, and then I'm done.
Nice.
And that's great, because if I get there and I hate it, I'm like, it's just a couple months and then I'm out of here. Exactly.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, that's very cool.
Thank you so much.
Are your friends bummed? Are they that you're
they're excited. I'm sorry, I just cut you off.
No, it's good.
They're excited for me. I think the fact that it's going to be a quick time makes it easier. If I was like, I'll see you guys in 5 years, that'd be a bit harder. But because I moved to Florida from New Jersey, where all my friends are, we've already kind of gotten used to talking through the phone. So this won't be much different.
Right. Okay. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on and giving us an update here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a moderator.
Thank you. So
I think you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you. It was great. I got a message from Nate sometime in June. He was like, hello, Oligrag, do you want to be a mod? I was like, I guess. He was like, you could work for Trevor's shows. I'm like, all right, I got that.
Yeah. Now, have you ever been on this thing called Discord?
Yeah. Oh, so
you know, all the kids are on this Discord thing.
I heard your qualms last week that apparently some people in chat were saying things, but not mean things. I can.
Oh, no, I don't really care. Like, no, it's fun. I always think it's funny. I like reading the mean things, but
can I explain it to you though from our perspective? Yeah. So we can see when you're online because you're attached to the server. So we'll look to the side and it'll say like WKUK and it'll say Trevor and there'll be like a green circle, which means you're online and active. Okay. I think people were like, so he's online, but he's not chatting with us. So like, what's he doing? As if you can't be talking with other people on Discord, but they were like, is he just watching us through our screens? And I was like, probably.
No, probably. I can explain that. There's many times, like I never turn my computer off.
Sure.
And the last time I turned my computer off was probably in like February. Like I just leave it on all the time.
I get it.
And I'm also, I never close programs until something crashes. And then I realize I have everything open. So I do remember one time going on and they were being like, you should close Discord. And I was like, I don't have Discord on. And I probably had it on for weeks. You know, just like, but I just don't.
Because like we'll see, because you know, so it'll have like a green thing means that you're online, like you're present there. Like I guess the tab has been clicked on recently, but then it'll have like a crescent moon, which means idle, which means like you're just lurking. We describe that. So whenever you're lurking, everyone's like, what is he planning? What is he doing? He's plotting something. I'm like, guys, I don't think it's that serious.
I probably have no idea. I have no idea. I actually no. Sometimes I want to like I'll go on Discord after tonight,
Mhm.
and I'll see what people, because there's a whole room. I'm telling you this like it's news, but like there's a whole room where people do chat
Yeah.
for the Twitch, but in the Discord.
Yeah, isn't that cool? There's channels
Yeah.
for I'm surprised that there isn't a Newsboys channel though. I think there should be. We should make that.
I think Sam sets it up, and I think Sam is anti-Newsboys.
So Trevor, I gotta ask, so penultimate show, how are you feeling?
It's a good question. It's a very good question, Allegra. There's a little bit of just pride, just wall to wall pride. I don't know. I don't know if you. I mean, I've talked about this before, but the weight that was on my shoulders, like because it used to be Zack and I, we'd go out each and every night. We put the whole team on our shoulders, and then Zack had to go away for a bit, and so then I become Atlas. I have the weight of the entire network, the entire the movie, the entire legacy.
Yeah,
of
it's
Whitest
all resting on you.
on my
you.
shoulders.
Well, I think you've done a good job. I gotta say, the first episode when we all saw that intro, our jaws hit the floor. We were all like, "Oh wow, we are in for something good."
The flagship show, and I stand beside it. I think every single one has been a gem.
Yeah.
I think we came out here every night with God in our hearts, and we just someone goes, honestly, Trevor is not humble enough. And we just killed it. We just crushed it. So I'm very proud. I'm glad tonight went well.
Blair rules. She rules.
Blair's fantastic. It's interesting because as we get into the summer and as things open up, we begin competing with Friday nights more. So I have noticed. I think we've held up numbers, but like I have noticed that deeper we get into the summer, we keep losing a little like that. So we'll see how we go from here. But I'm gonna continue the flagship in some way.
I think you should, because I feel like I wonder if you knew that this would happen. That Newsboys so beloved by everybody, and then Zack goes away, and then you start a show. Did you know deep down that like this is going to get people's attention, and that when it ends, people are going to be sad? Did you know? I think you knew.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling.
Because I mean, it's such a weird feeling where it's like I'm so excited that Zack is coming back, and really, when it get down to it, I kind of owe everything that's happened with us to Zack, because he got my name wrong those few times. So I have to find a way to thank him, because like it's all thanks to he called me Allegrag a couple times, and here I am. So, but
and then he I wonder if it'll be weird when he comes back.
Trevor, I've thought about that so many times where I'm like, what is he going to say when I'm like, hey, remember that girl whose name you kind of butchered? She's a mod now.
Yeah, there's so much he's missed. There's lots of drama that's gone by. We watched The Grapist. Like there was the whole the scandal with the cheating.
Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard. That was a big loss, I think, for everybody, because that really was at some point. I was like, horses should take it. It just should. It's just so on brand to you guys that there's been a lot that he's missed, but it'll be fun to have him back. Yeah. It'll be great to go back into the news. So but then we're gonna lose Darren, which is sad. Yeah, he's gonna go to Europe too. So that time zone math, I was trying to calculate it for you guys, and it's a doozy, because if you start later, it'll be 2 a.m. on the East Coast, and then it's like
there's no winning with it, because I was doing that too the other weekend. I was like, well, what if like even coming down to like, what if we did the show at like 3 p.m. West Coast time, but it still doesn't work like with like there's really no way to do it correctly. So I don't know what we'll do there. Maybe we'll have maybe he'll be on like one episode a month that he just kind of stays up or something like that.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's the big finales next week. It's gonna
Yeah,
be.
and is your sister coming back? Is she gonna play us all? Is she gonna play us out?
She's been learning. I requested that my sister learn the song "Wind Beneath My Wings," so she's going to play that. But she says she will get nervous if she sings it live. So she's going to pre-record it.
I was gonna say pre-record it. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. I gotta say, I've loved so many of the guests, and each episode has had a moment where like my sides have been split from laughing so hard. But
Oh,
your
great.
sister, from a personal standpoint, is the guest that I can most relate to. I was behind my screen every time she was talking. I was like, "Me too, girl. I totally get it." It was really nice to sort of to see that.
That's great. And you know, somebody in chat made a very nice on the Reddit, the subreddit, made a very nice drawing of my sister.
It was so gorgeous.
And so I sent it to her, and she was so excited by it. And she actually, I think, printed it out and has hung it in her house. And she told me to tell whoever made that, thank you so much. She was very appreciative. And then I was like, well, do you want to make a Reddit account and go on there and say thank you? And she's like, I don't want to have a Reddit account.
That's fair. Yeah, Reddit's the one I don't go on the most. I usually go on to check the fan art because there are some real talent out there. But yeah.
Yeah, really, really talented people in Whoretown.
Yeah.
And even more talented in Trevor Country.
I gotta say, I really love the fact that Whoretown is the country, but Trevor Country is the state. I think that's real. That's good.
And the thing that I've got to figure out is when Newsboys comes back, it becomes Newsboys Nation.
Yeah.
But the overlap between Trevor Country and Newsboys Nation, I think, is pretty big. So I don't know. It could be both at the same time.
You could be like part of Newsboys Nation, but identify with Trevor Country, maybe something like that.
Like a Quebec. It's a French thing, but also some of this Newsboys Nation is a municipality. Okay. I like that.
That's smart.
Yeah. That's going to be next week. Everybody tune in. There will not be. Oh no, there will be self-suck. Is there? I can't. Hold on. Let me check my text to see if there's a self-suck. I think there is.
Okay.
Hold on.
Hey, Whoretown, how's everybody doing? I hope it's okay that I'm here.
Yeah, Allegra, vamp. I've got to look for.
All right, Whoretown. So I've been deemed wholesome. I don't really know what that means, but I'm going to try my best to do it for you. So everybody, tell me something good, and you know what? I'll just say it right now. I hope you've had a good day, and I'm really proud of you. And you're doing great. Whatever you're doing, I'm proud of you.
That's nice. Excellent job. Excellent job. Great vamping. Great vamping. There will be. This is going to be a great self-suck tomorrow, actually, because it's just going to be Timmy and Darren.
Oh.
That'll be a very interesting personality combination, not one that you see that often.
I was going to say, I mean, I know that, they did a Zucchini Boys together, I think, once. And I think
they did?
Yeah, and I think that was a pretty popular, I don't remember what they made. It was a long time ago, but I remember seeing it's like Darren's on Zucchini Boys and they're cooking something simultaneously.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what's in store for everyone tomorrow. I am taking off the night for my wife's birthday. Sam is
happy birthday to her.
I'll tell her. And Sam is going to be wrapping up his trip home to the Cape Cod. So tune in tomorrow night for Darren and Timmy self-suck, and then next week we'll all be back. I don't know if Zack might even be back next self-suck. I'm not sure.
I really think that that you gotta send the Flagship off with a big proper goodbye. So even if he's here, I think he should be pretty much a guest on the Flagship.
He should be a guest on the Flagship.
Yeah, where he's pretty much taking the back seats. Like he's back from Europe. He's probably jet lagged. We gotta you could say to Zack, I got this. I'm not sure how I want to send off the show. I have a week to think about it. Yeah. Do you want to try to get all of your guests back, or to maybe do
some of them? Yeah. Or at least get them to film them saying something.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be sad to see the intro go. I'm going to be sad to I'm gonna miss the show, as we all will, but we have one more hurrah left next week.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. I guess let's set up a raid for Fantastic Plastics.
Oh, before I go, Trevor, I gotta say, I really like your hat. I was wondering if you happen to see my latest purchase, and maybe I think you're probably the only person who's gonna appreciate this, but I bought me a red bucket.
Oh, a Paddington.
It is. I didn't get it to specifically look like Paddington, but it was just a happy coincidence that I put it on. I was like, oh.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's perfect for your move to London.
It is. I'm actually going to be in England around the time they start filming. So
my God.
Have you been cast yet? Have you talked to somebody? Can you?
No, I tweeted out that I wanted to be. I tweeted out that I wanted to be in the movie, and but I said I would not play someone who is mean to Paddington. I'm glad
you said that. I'm glad, because I feel like none of us could look at you the same afterwards. We'd all be like, you remember that time you were mean to Paddington?
I couldn't look at me the same. And so I put it out there. A, offer only. I'm not auditioning. Right. B, I only want to be a friend of Paddington.
Yeah.
And I put it out. And then, and Ron Funches, sweetheart of a guy, he retweeted it. And he said, he put a little thing on top of it. He's like, I'll sweeten the deal. He's like, I say Trevor and I play bumbling security guards who befriend Paddington. And I was like,
great idea.
I love that idea. So
that's a great idea. You can offer him sandwiches and you guys could have like a picnic together with marmalade. That's a great idea.
So that's the offer out there, is Ron Funches and I play bumbling security guards who are friends with Paddington. Offer only. We will not audition.
I think everybody wants to see the height difference between you and Paddington. I think that would be hilarious. They'd have to like really pull the camera back to get both of you.
Well, they could also make me small in post-production. What? Oh, we're rating? Oh, wait, let's not raid yet. Can we not raid yet? Oh,
I'm so sorry.
That's a fantastic ending.
I'm so sorry. I didn't let you say a proper goodbye. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Well, great job. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Allegra.
Hey, and I got to tell you about my uncle sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.